Without it, my lord, the society itself will not live. The nations will not be there. Constitution is not the gift of law. It has been existing since Rig Vedas, my lords. And it's continued. The Manusmriti continued, my lords.
There is an argument saying that don't do this, as the solicitor said, because it has various other ramifications. Even under the Special Marriage Act, don't do it.
They've adopted a child. What's going to happen? Who's going to be the father?
Two minutes, my lords.
Yes, Mr. Dedi.
Adopting everything which my learned solicitor says, my lords. About the canvas, my lords. So far as the Special Marriage Act is concerned, even if, my lord, this court, I'm assuming, my lord, the lordships are inclined to update it or read in something in this act, my lord, so as to accommodate, my lord, the interests of the petitioner. Even then, my lord, first of all, the preliminary issue would be whether, my lords, the heterosexual unions with whom they are seeking equality. Mr. Rotagi himself said that if your lordship holds that they are equal, then the issue of reading in, etc. arises, my lords. Without first going into that question of equality, because it is going to be our strong submission, my lord, that there is no equality, my lords. It is one thing that they claim civil rights of different kind, with all sorts of consequences. Many countries, my lord, have had separate, my lord, enactments giving them certain recognition, certain rights. Even in UK, my lord, first there was a law enacted which gave them separately a right, and subsequently, my lord, this equality was granted by legislation. And therefore, my lords, the first and foremost question is, would this court be holding, lord, because earlier in Navtej, your lordships never granted absolute equality, my lord, with heterosexual union. That was not the issue at all. So no lordships have not educated us that no judgment should be read, will not dehorse the issues which had arisen in that case. In that case, not the only issue was about the decriminalization, section 377, which in that context, your lordship made certain observations. Yes, as lawyers, my lord, we are entitled to rely on those observations and try to build further, my lords. But then that is not a final authority, my lord, for complete equality between the two kind of relations. One relation which has been existing, my lord, since time immemorial. Enormous continuity for heterosexual union. And that heterosexual union, my lord, as the lordship knows, is responsible for the perpetuation, the very existence of the human race, its perpetuation. Without it, my lord, the society itself will not live. The nations will not be there. But the other relationship, merely because there is love, affection, and concern and care, etc., that's just one part of the heterosexual union. That's not the core of the relationship. The very heterosexual union, this marriage amongst them, this institution, is not the gift of law. It has been existing since Rig Vedas, my lords. And it's continued. The Manusmriti continued, my lords. And all religions, my lord, so basically, my lord, these marriages have evolved over thousands of years, my lords, and are based on usage, custom, religion, etc. And the core purpose was to perpetuate the human race. Without it, this relationship, my lord, it can't exist. You may have n number of other kind of relationship. Malanitran refers to group marriages, polyamorous marriages, and so many things are existing, and this same-sex is not a new phenomenon. It had been existing earlier, and they never claimed equality. They were never given equality. That's a very important aspect. Go as far back as in history, my lord, they have existed, but not on an equal level. Today, under the Constitution, it is one thing that they want to claim. The question is, therefore, what I'm trying to say is that this fundamental question, are they absolutely equal? Once your lordship comes to that conclusion that they are, then and then alone the question will be, do we read it in this act itself without any necessity of declaring any enactment ultra vires and so on, lords? And the second aspect is, lords, that even under the Special Marriage Act, there are two aspects. If your lordship looks at one section, Yes, 19. On 19, section 19.
Yes.
The two relations, the two unions are different, at different pedestal. Section 19, the manifests the Hindu.
Where are you reading, Mr.? 19.
I'm sorry, miss. Section
Go
19.
ahead. Go ahead.
The marriage solemnized under this act of any member of an undivided family who professes the Hindu, Buddhist, Sikh, or Jain religions shall be deemed to effect his severance from such family. So there is a consequence on the personal law. Well, that of course will be, they can say that it's my choice, I'm willing to.
Right, exactly.
That's fine.
This 21.
But then this,
21A follows. 21A follows. Not just 19, 21A. Amended in. PC.
now further, Lord, degree of prohibited relationship. These are all, my Lord, reflections of the personal law.
Yes.
B.
What I wish to say, my Lord, is that marriage amongst heterosexuals or the heterosexual union is not a gift of any of these laws. These laws are only regulating the long-standing relationship which has been existing in our society. They are only regulatory. Now kindly have section 4.
Subsection 6. It talks of biological man and biological woman. 4C.
Now, kindly have 4B first. Neither party, and in fact in A, the expression spouse itself is indicative of an heterosexual relation. That's of course a question of submission on merit. B, neither party is incapable of giving a valid consent to it in consequence of unsoundness of mind, though capable of giving a valid consent has been suffering from mental disorder of such a kind or to such an extent as to be unfit for marriage and the procreation of children.
It talks of
So the procreation of children and the perpetuation of the society, my Lord, and the race and the nation is an intrinsic idea, my Lord, spelled out in this. Therefore, that question will have to be decided first. And even if you decide it is equal, whether your Lordship can still, my Lord, read in, change all these provisions so as to accommodate, would be a submission on merit that is not possible even on merits, even if your Lordship holds that they are equal. And then see, the male has completed the age of 21 years and the female the age of 18 years. Now, how can, my Lord, the question of man and women doesn't arise?
It's to be biological man and biological.
Yes.
Now, kindly have section 12.
So the way these
These are all arguments on merit.
It's on the merits, but I'm just briefly, not cursorily taking a Lordship's.
No, this is an argument saying that don't do this, as the solicitor said, because it has various other ramifications. Even under the Special Marriage Act, don't do it.
With respect, I'm saying I appreciate the fault from my Lord, no, but I'm saying something else. I'm saying first, because of the historical submission which I made, because of these provisions, etc., and because of the fact that under this act, my Lord, the states are empowered to make rules. Therefore, my Lord, the states are absolutely essential party, necessary party, my Lord, and no adjudication should be done without, my Lord, issuing notices and pleading the states.
All right, we'll consider
Particularly, we have moved an application and I have not got an opportunity, so I must be, my application should be allowed, my Lord, and given an opportunity. My Lord. Thousands
Yes,
of
Mr.
people.
Bill.
2 minutes, only 2 minutes. Well, it's at least some of us on this side, at least for speaking for myself, believe in the autonomy of the individual. And I think people are entitled to have a relationship of whatever kind, whether it's the same sex or not, Mullas. I think that needs to be celebrated because that's the way society is moving forward. But having said that, Mullas, assuming your lordships were to say it is a valid marriage, it's fair, Mullas, your lordships can say that. Now, Mullas, supposing the marriage breaks down, they've adopted a child, what's going to happen? Who's going to be the father? Who's going to be the tenant? Under procedural criminal law, who is the woman? Who will be maintenance? These are very, very serious societal consequences of that declaration. Either you take it as a whole or don't take it at all. I'm not averse to either. But if you do it piecemeal, it'll create more problems for that unity, for that union, for those two people, whether they're women or they are. In other legislations, when this has been done, if you look at the legislations around the world, they actually reform all the other laws in tandem with it. If you do it piecemeal, you will actually be hurting that very community. And that's very dangerous. I am all for it personally, but I'm not in this fashion.
So are you saying do everything?
Either you do everything or you do nothing. But if you do it piecemeal, you're going to hurt that union.
You are representing which state? Sorry.
Well, I'm not representing anybody. In fact, I need not even argue because your lordships are leaving out personal law for Jamaat. So I need not even argue. But I'm just,
No, I just want to
think
know.
an officer of the
just to
court.
appreciate
I
the
just,
submission, I wanted to know which is the group you represent. If you're not representing,
I'm sorry.
which is the group you represent? Which is the
The
stakeholder?
Jamaat, Malaj. Jamaat ulama. They're not parties. Therefore, Malaj, I am out of it, really, because your lordships have clarified it. I don't have to be here. But Malaj, I want to, no, just as having practiced here for so many years, I need to.
As an officer of the
Yes,
court
yes.
system.
Yes, Malaj, these are very,
Wanted to be-
very complex, serious issues.
Yes.
If you decide it piecemeal, it's going to have huge ramifications. There'll be ghettoization. Imagine the impact in a village.
Mr. Sibyl, what we can do is that
Yes.
at the latter part of the arguments, we'd like you to assist the court for about half an hour or so. Please do.
Deeply obliged.
We come back.
To just take
May I have your
one
lordship
response to
attention?
what biological difference.
There are certain other organizations. For example,
Look, we can't be hearing everybody to open their cases. What we'll do is now we've got a broad understanding of where the rival viewpoints are. We'll come back after lunch and now begin with Mr. Rohatgi's
Very well.
submission. I
That's
think.
may I have your
The only thing what we
attention?
wanted to say is, not on the merits, but Lord, you are Bharatiya Sant Samiti, the Hindu chain. I'm not on that, I'm in the
So,
institution of marriage,
now just one
the
thing
society.
on the logistics, Mr. Rohatgi.
Lord,
after you conclude
I will finish by 4.
by 4 o'clock.
Yes,
Now, once you have covered this ground,
yes,
I take it that the others will only make short supplementing submissions.
yes.
Who will be leading? Dr. Singhvi, how long?
Dr. Singhvi, Mr. Kirpal wants to say.
Mr.
Dr.
Kirpal.
Singhvi, then Mr. Vishwanathan.
So, my lord, I'll just submit.
give us a small.
Just give us a list of the order, set
I'll
out the order so
open.
that we can call out the names
Certainly.
one after the other. And we will take
What
it
we would
that
propose,
maybe all of you should be able to conclude by Thursday.
Very well, my
So
lord.
that we'll give you until the end of
Yes,
Thursday
Lord, I
for
think
the
that-
entire this
that
side.
would be sufficient.
And the following week, we can, Malaj.
Even that I feel, once you have addressed.
May I
The
may
others will have
your
very short
lordship,
submissions.
Supplementing. I don't know
Yes,
if you finish today, how much supplementary can there be?
not much.
Lord, I will place the relevant judgments which will establish according to me that we have a fundamental right, my Lord, to a marriage.
So
and
perhaps
to be
Thursday afternoon, the others
Yes.
can start. I think Thursday afternoon, the rest of them can start.
And I'll get my choice.
Highly obliged.
But I would.
May I have a turn for a few
Your
minutes
lordships
after?
are rejecting my application.
Mr. Solicitor, Mr. Attorney General?
Yeah, after lunch, a few minutes,
Yes,
your lordship's
after
time.
lunch.
Very good.
We're highly obliged.